Martell Holt thought he had mastered the art of spinning stories, controlling narratives, and keeping just enough charm to fool the internet into believing he was misunderstood. But what he didn't expect was for Tasha K, one of the loudest voices in celebrity media, to step into the ring with receipts that nobody could ignore. When that clip dropped, it didn't just cause a ripple. It created a storm so powerful that Martell's entire online reputation started to crumble in real time. People who once defended him were suddenly silent. And those who already doubted him? They were louder than ever. This wasn't just a messy back and forth between exes. This was a public unmasking, and Martell Holt was standing center stage with nowhere to hide. What makes this moment even more dramatic is the timing. Because for years, Martell has walked the fine line between being the charming reality TV dad and the manipulative villain. Every time he was exposed, he found a way to laugh it off, shift the blame, or drag someone else into the fire. But not this time. This time, the internet had proof. And when Tasha K dropped that clip, Martell's empire of excuses started collapsing piece by piece. But before we dive into the drama of the clip itself, we need to rewind. To really understand why this one video hit so hard, you have to look at the years of chaos, betrayal, and manipulation that led to this very moment. Because Martell Holt's story isn't just about cheating scandals or failed relationships. It's about a man who built his public image on half-truths and charm, only to watch it unravel when confronted with undeniable evidence. Martell wasn't always seen as the villain. In fact, when Love and Marriage, Huntsville first introduced him, many viewers saw him as the family man who loved his children and supported his wife, Melody Sherry. But as episodes aired, cracks in that picture-perfect image began to show. Rumors of affairs weren't just whispers, they became storylines. And the more Martell tried to deny them, the more proof started surfacing. Still, he always had defenders. People who said, he's just a man who made mistakes. Others argued that Melody was using his flaws to make herself look better. And Martell leaned into that confusion, playing the role of both victim and aggressor, depending on what the moment called for. But behind the scenes, Melody wasn't just dealing with betrayal. She was facing harassment, manipulation, and repeated invasions of her peace. And when she finally spoke out, some people believed her. Others accused her of exaggerating. That split in public opinion gave Martell room to keep moving recklessly. He mocked Melody in court. He showed up where he wasn't wanted. He sent messages to bloggers trying to spin narratives in his favor. And every time, he managed to convince just enough people that he was the one being unfairly attacked. And that's where Tasha K enters the picture. Because while Martell was busy mocking and deflecting, Tasha was gathering. Waiting. Watching. And when she finally released that clip, it was like pulling the curtain back on a magician's trick. Suddenly, the charm didn't work anymore. The excuses fell flat. People could see for themselves that Martell wasn't the victim he wanted them to believe he was. The clip itself wasn't just dramatic, it was damning. It showed Martell in a way the internet had never seen before. His tone, his words, his actions, all of it painted a picture of a man who wasn't just careless, but calculated. And what hit hardest was that the video confirmed things Melody had been saying for years. The harassment. The gaslighting. The constant attempts to flip the script. Fans didn't have to rely on her word anymore. They had visual proof. Social media erupted. People who once dismissed Melody as bitter suddenly had to eat their words. Comment sections were flooded with messages like, "Now I understand why she left," and "We owe Melody an apology." The same folks who once laughed when Martell mocked her were now calling him out directly. And Martell? For once, he had no comeback. Because here's the thing about video proof, it doesn't lie. You can argue against rumors. You can dismiss text messages as fake. You can twist words when they're only typed out. But when your face, your voice, and your actions are caught on camera, there's no escaping that. The fallout was immediate. Martell's internet reputation, the very thing he depended on to keep booking reality shows, appearances, and brand deals, started crumbling. Fans began questioning why he was still on certain platforms. Others demanded accountability from the network, asking why a man with this kind of behavior was still being given a stage. And while Martell tried to brush it off at first, the silence from his usual defenders spoke volumes. This wasn't something he could laugh away. This was a scar that wouldn't fade. But here's the twist: this wasn't just about Martell. The clip forced fans to look at the bigger picture. At how reality TV protects drama for ratings while ignoring real-life harm. At how women like Melody are often gaslit and dismissed until undeniable proof comes out. And at how social media can make or break someone's reputation overnight. The emotional impact of this moment can't be overstated. For Melody, it was vindication. After years of being painted as dramatic or bitter, the truth was finally on her side in a way nobody could deny. For her children, it was painful proof of the chaos their parents had been trapped in. And for Martell, it was the beginning of the end of the public image he worked so hard to maintain. The internet is a ruthless place. One day, you're a fan favorite. The next, you're trending for all the wrong reasons. And Martell Holt learned that lesson the hard way. Tasha K didn't just post a clip. She pulled the mask off a man who thought he was untouchable. And now, the question isn't whether Martell can recover, it's whether anyone even wants him to. Because when your reputation is built on lies, the truth doesn't just hurt. It destroys. And in Martell's case, it looks like the internet has finally decided they've had enough. And here's where we have to pause for a moment and really think about what this all means. Because this isn't just about Martell Holt being exposed in one messy video. This is about years of behavior finally catching up to him in a way he can't escape. Tasha K didn't just put out gossip. She put out proof. And in today's world, proof is what destroys reputations faster than anything else. Think about it: Martell has been fighting for years to keep his image polished. He wanted to be seen as the successful businessman, the charming father, the reality star who just made a few mistakes. But when that clip surfaced, it ripped away the last bit of control he had over his narrative. Suddenly, the man who once laughed at rumors couldn't laugh anymore. The internet wasn't joking with him this time. The jokes were on him. What makes this ending so powerful is that it's not just Martell who is exposed. It's the entire system that allowed him to keep playing these games. The production companies that filmed the drama but ignored the danger. The friends who stayed silent instead of calling him out. Even the fans who blamed Melody for speaking up. This moment forces everyone to confront the truth. Because once you see the clip, you can't unsee it. You can't go back to pretending Martell is just misunderstood. And that's the part that hurts him the most. The internet doesn't forgive easily. Once your mask slips, once the receipts go viral, there's no way to put them back in the box. Martell may still try to spin the story. He may show up on lives, drop statements, or even try to cry foul about being set up. But deep down, he knows what we all know now: his reputation will never be the same.